Hi, third grade. I hope you had a great week and had a lot of fun drawing the shadow of our tree. This week we get to start adding some color. Now, if you remember, I showed you this example last week and I showed you how we were going to do warm colors and cool colors and work on some of this shading that we have here. This week, we're just going to focus on the spaces in the branches up top. Don't worry about what's happening down here below. That's going to be what we work on next week. This week, we're focusing up top here. So grab that paper that you drew and colored your tree shadow on. Grab some crayons. Markers are really not going to work great for this project because we need to work on the blending, and markers are very difficult to blend. Sometimes they just don't want to blend at all. So crayons are really going to be the way to go for this. Grab some crayons or those crayon sticks. I know some of you have those. And I will show you what we need to do today with our tree and our shadow. So as you can see on mine, for the top of my tree in between the branches, I used cool colors. Cool colors are going to be your purples, your blues, your greens, your teals, those types of colors. Below my tree, I used warm colors. So the reds, the yellows, the oranges, the orange reds, pinks even are going to count more in the warm colors. Just because I did cool colors up top and warm colors below doesn't mean that you have to. If you want to do warm colors up here and cool colors down here, that's fine. But you need to make that decision now before we start coloring because you're going to be doing the opposite next week. So decide which way you want to go, if you want warm up here or cool up here. Then you want to go in your box of crayons and pull out at least three of the type of color that you want to work with. So since I'm going to do cool colors again, I have 3 cool colors here. You want to make sure that you pick out a darker cool color, a medium cool color, and then a lighter cool color. It's going to be easier to blend that way. And if you really want to get crazy, pull out 2 sets like that. So I have a darker color, a medium color, and a lighter color. And it's going to be the same thing if you're doing the warm colors. You want to pull out a darker color, a medium color, and a lighter color. Again, I'm going to do cool colors, so I have my 2 sets of cool colors here ready to go. If you want to do warm colors, then you would pick out your 2 sets. 2 sets of warm colors that you have. Either way, you're going to have a darker color, a medium color, and a lighter color. Totally your choice. Which way you want to go. I'm going to do cool colors, and I'm going to do 2 sets because I just think it makes it look a little more interesting to have not quite the same 3 colors all up top. So the way we do shading, and you might want to practice this on a scrap piece of paper before you do it on your tree, just to get the hang of it a little bit. So you want to take your dark color first. The dark color is always going to be at the top. Always going to be at the bottom. You can see in each of my sections, I have the darker color at the bottom. It's on this tree. So I'm going to put my darker color here, and I'm going to press pretty hard. Make a little stripe that's really dark. And then I'm just going to take my crayon, and I just kind of start here in the dark, and I push up. So you can see as it goes away from this dark stripe, it gets lighter. Then I'm going to take my light color and put that at the top, and I'm going to press pretty hard with that. And I'm going to do the same thing I did down here, except it's going to go down instead of up. So I start here and push down, and as the color goes down, it gets lighter. Take your medium color and just lightly fill that space in between the 2 colors, between your light color and your dark color. Go back with one of them. Just kind of pull a little more lines up or down, depending on which one you're starting with. So you can see I have the really dark light color, I have the really dark color, and I can still see the medium color in there. Might need to put just a little bit more in the very, very middle. But it doesn't look like stripes of color. It kind of looks like they mix almost like a puzzle, that they just fit in between each other. And that's what you want to do then inside each of these spaces. So you're going to take your light color and put that at the top, really super dark, just staying inside this space to start. Each space is going to be like its own little coloring area. Dark color down here. Now the slightly bigger areas are going to be a little bit easier to color because you have more room to try and blend the colors. These small sections get a little bit tricky because you don't have as much space to kind of make the colors go smoothly from one to the other. So I would start with the larger sections first and then go to the smaller sections. That way you have just a little bit more practice before you try and get to those really difficult small spots. Fill this space in with my medium color here. And you can see I'm not really coloring hard with the medium color. I'm just putting a nice amount of the color on the paper. Take my purple, pull some more back up. Take my green, pull some back down into this blue or indigo. Just like that. Then I'd go to the next section. Now, since I'm doing 2 sets of colors, I'm going to take my other types of colors here, my other cool colors. Do my lighter one here along the top. And like I said, you may want to practice this on another piece of paper first, just to give yourself a little practice, because this is a little bit tricky and I've been practicing this for a while. I've been doing this for a while. So if yours does look a little bit like a stripe with the colors, that's okay. It takes practice. Blending or shading, as we're doing here, doesn't just happen very quickly. It takes a little practice, takes a little finesse, and just figuring out what works best for you. But each section is going to have, these colors blending from one to the other, just like this. So you're going to fill each of these sections with one of these 3 sets of colors, shading from dark to light, or if you really want to switch it up, light to dark. You pick. You just always want to make sure that if you put the dark here in this one, you always have the dark in the bottom on all the sections. If you have the light here, you want to make sure you have the light at the bottom in each of the sections. Just keep it consistent, keep it the same in each one as far as where the dark color is and where the light color is. But have fun with it. Again, it's not going to hurt to practice on another piece of paper before you go to this, just to kind of practice and figure things out a little bit. It's probably not a bad idea to get that in, just like when you're playing baseball and you take those few practice swings before you step up to bat. That's kind of what we're doing here. We're doing our practice swings on this extra piece of paper and doing the real thing up here when we step up to bat. So take your time. It's going to take a little bit to fill all these in, but it's going to be so worth it when you're done. Third grade. I hope you have a lot of fun with this shading. I know this is something that's very new for us, but I think once you get the hang of it, you're really going to have fun with it and want to be shading everything. Don't be afraid to do that practice on a separate sheet of paper. I really encourage you to do that. Practicing is not going to hurt a little at all before you go to the final, before you go to the good copy. Practice is going to be a wonderful thing. So take a little time, practice, just once or twice even, and then go to your good paper. And also remember, starting with these larger sections is going to be better than going to a small section right away, because you're going to have a lot more room to spread those colors out and really get them to blend well. That way you'll have a great idea of what to do when you get to the smaller sections. So do some practice, then the big sections, then the little sections. And remember to be consistent with where you put the dark color. If you put it at the bottom in one, dark color at the bottom, then it has to be at the bottom for all of them. If you put the dark color at the top, make sure it's at the top for all of them. So practice and consistent, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this. Have a great week, and I will see you all very soon. Have an awesome time. See you real soon, third grade. Bye.